and I don't know if it's working or not. Uh, hey, check this out and tell me if it's working.
Okay, okay.
Can you see it?
Send me the link.
I'll put it in Discord.
What is that link?
I have no idea. It's listed under stream URL.
Wait.
Stream URL. I can actually
Silvian
hear
chatting
myself.
with Abby about depression. Yeah.
All right.
Wisely, and it should
Stream
be
URL.
Abby chatting with Silvian
I can
because
actually
Silvian is
hear
chatting
myself.
with won't be that involved.
Well, I'll put Silvian chatting with Abby because I don't need my name to come first, you know? Plus, you're the one that's like sitting here
Yeah.
participating with me.
Okay.
Even though I don't know if other people can hear you, but I think you're okay with
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
All right, so what did you want to know about depression, bro?
Just if you would talk to someone that is depressed,
Mm-hmm.
and what would you tell him? Like
It,
in not use like using standard words that everyone can understand.
if I was talking to someone about depressed, what would I tell them using standard words that everyone can understand?
Yeah.
The first thing that I normally do when discussing depression is I break down the mechanism as explained to me by my brother Donald King. Uh, Depression is humans have a parasite inside their heads. What we refer to as the ego is a physical parasite. It's located in the frontal lobe, and it's spread throughout the autonomic nervous system. It's like a foreign cluster of cells that's attached and intermingled in with the rest of your brain and with your body. The ego parasite feeds off the neurotransmitters and the hormones that the human body produces, like adrenaline, insulin, dopamine, serotonin, cortisol, vasopressin, etc. Uh,
Mhm.
what we call boredom, that's a sign that the ego parasite is hungry. So it's signaling the human host that it's hungry and that they should engage in either a activity or a conceptual substance which can cause it to produce the particular cocktail of chemicals that it's craving. Depression would be when it's starving. It's like a secondary hunger. It's like the ego's like, hey, listen, I'm not getting what I want, so I'm going to punish you until you give me what I want. It's why the symptoms of depression seem to be relatively the same, but have like these wide spectrum of results. So, like, let's say the ego parasite is craving melatonin. It'll trick the human host into believing that it's sleepy and tired because when the human is asleep, their bodies produce melatonin. If the ego parasite was craving insulin, it will trick the human host into craving sweet and fatty foods because when you consume sweet and fatty foods, it produces insulin. So, uh, once someone has that understanding of what depression is and how it functions mechanically, it becomes easier to guide, coach, and direct them into activities that will alleviate the symptoms of effect of depression in the regards of doing activities or engaging in things that feed the ego. Yeah, that feed the ego. So it's like my personal examples. Uh,
Mhm. So,
oh,
if someone is depressed, they should feed their ego more.
they should
Is
engage
that?
in activities to produce the chemicals their bodies need to feed the ego. For instance, if you take a list, and it could be like a 5 item list, just write 5 things that you know you can accomplish in a day. When I first started, it was open up my blinds, make my window, do my morning workout, uh, and make my bed. Even though I think I said that.
Okay.
So I would, get up. I would write these down. I would literally have a notepad. Like, here's my little notepad, and I would take the notepad and I would literally just like write down and cross off the list of things that to do. And as I cross off that list, I get a sense of accomplishment. That causes my body to produce, serotonin and dopamine. It's like, oh yes, I did it, I did it. And so just that little act starts to cause my brain to produce those things, and that alleviates the depression because now the ego is getting its food source. It is getting its supply. So it's like, oh, okay, I don't have to punish this human anymore. It's feeding me. And then as I'm working out, that causes, adrenaline and all this other stuff to occur. And that's once again feeding that ego parasite in a way that's, beneficial to my body as well.
Mhm.
So the
What
key.
if? Sorry. Sorry.
Oh no no,
Say.
I want to hear your question. I don't know my thought at the time.
Okay. What if you can't find those things? Like you started by doing small things, like you said, making your
Hmm.
bed or open your curtains. What if you can find anything to do else? Because you're in a spot like you're rich, maybe you had success, and
Hmm.
now you can't find anything else to do.
So what if I'm in a spot where I can't find anything to do? Like maybe I'm
Yeah.
rich and experiencing lots of success.
Yeah.
That requires honesty. Uh, you have to be able to look at your life and see which areas or activities you're lacking in that you can engage in to produce these results. Uh, if you're rich, and let's say you're used to having other people cook for you, used to have other people clean for you. Maybe make it a goal to once a week, clean for yourself, or to help prepare the meal. Uh, everyone, a rich person definitely has a floor. So you can say, you know what, I'm going to do 25 push-ups, and I'm going to write that goal down. And by the end of next month, I'm going to do 30 push-ups. So now you have a short-term and a long-term goal that you're working for. And whenever you cross these thresholds, you should experience that sense of accomplishment, which is going to alleviate those symptoms of depression.
Hmm.
So honesty is definitely a heavy requirement, uh, as it allows you to look inside yourself and outside yourself and say, okay, what are my actions? What are my impacts? Why am I depressed? And the more you practice doing this, the easier to recognize. In my personal experience, I'm gonna say in 2014, whenever I would get
Hmm.
depressed, I would go online and buy a lot of stuff, whether it's going on Steam and buying 100 gold coins, buying a new computer. I used to invest heavily in a Magic the Gathering, so I would spend thousands of dollars buying Magic cards. Uh, Also, I would engage heavily in sexual activities, since that gives me my vasopressin, cortisol, lots of other stuff. As I got older, I started to realize, hey, I'm ordering fast food every day and wanting to go shopping. Oh, this is a sign of being depressed. That takes honesty because it helped me recognize the impact I was having on reality. And once I realized I was
Hmm.
depressed, then of course I started to try to take steps to fix it. When Donald had explained to me the mechanism of like how depression works, that made it even easier for me because I'm like, wait a minute. So instead of saying, oh, I'm depressed, let me stop buying stuff, it's like I can actually do something about it. I don't have to just sit there and recognize that I'm depressed. I don't have to just sit there and accept it. I can take steps and change the impacts that I'm making in order to, you know, defeat it. I don't really know another way to say it, like, or to overcome and alleviate those symptoms. Like, I don't take my dog running or Aaron running because I think running is fun. I really don't like running. I'll be clear with you. I don't like running. It's tiring. It's exhausting. Uh, Afterwards, it feels great. I have. I'm not gonna say always, but as far as I can remember, I feel good after running. I hardly ever feel good before running, and I'm hardly ever in the mood to actually run. It's more like, all right, I'm up. If I don't run, I'm gonna get depressed. And if that's not enough motivation, then I'm like, well, if I don't run, then she's not going to get her exercise and she's going to run around the house. So it's like, all right, let me go run. So, we go running, we end up having fun. And I forget that I was even depressed when I woke up because the symptoms have been alleviated. So by the time I wake up and I almost every day this month, I've woke up a little depressed. I'll be real with you. It's why I spent so much time smoking, and why I asked you, like, hey, can you, help me out and tell me not to smoke today so I can go a full day without smoking? It's because I want to be sober enough to look around and see what I'm doing so that I can see if I'm actually taking steps to alleviate that depression or just, letting it happen.
Mm-hmm. But what if you can't tell the things that make you depressed? Like, for example, you said if you don't run, that will make you depressed. But what if someone can't tell
If someone can't tell the things that are making them depressed,
that? How can he
then
start like seeing those?
legit honesty is the answer to how they can start seeing that. Um, so if they can't tell, then I normally go back to recommending writing the list. Like my recommendation of like running and working out, that's tuned to my individual body. Writing a list is a general human phenomenon, like the sense of accomplishment. That's just something that tends to occur with humans. I don't know if it occurs with other species, so I'm just limiting my experience in that way. But the writing a list is a basic recommendation. It does almost nothing when compared to running and working out and all that. But that's because I took the time to understand how my body's working. So I would recommend starting off with that until you can, or whoever can understand more about how their body's working. But the only way that I've been able to truly understand all this is by being honest with myself. By first recognizing that there's a problem, two, uh, looking for and attempting to recognize what I can do about that problem. There, when I lost my job, of course I was a bit depressed, but there's nothing I could really do about that. And I was like, okay, nothing I could do about that. So I look for what can I do something
Yeah,
about?
exactly.
Yeah. Like
Beg, yeah.
give it back.
Go
So.
and beg them, and go with the song. I need $1.
I need to write a sign sent outside my same job. Hey, hire me back or give me money. But
Yeah.
you will have to really be honest. Like, examine your day-to-day activities. If it's difficult to examine your day-to-day activities, look at your hour-to-hour activities. Like when you're bored, what do you do? What do you do? Like I really ask you, what do you do when you're bored?
Mm, I try to find something to do, or study if I can study like because I can study in the first part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm bored and it's the first part of the day, in general I study. Else, watch YouTube, watch other guys, or do something.
So,
Because in the second part of the day, in my case,
mm-hmm.
maybe it's different for each of us. I try to relax and
So,
do other things.
when you say study during the first part of the day, it sounds like when you're using your brain and developing and growing it, typically through acquiring new information, that it causes you to experience some type of activity that helps alleviate the effects of depression.
Yeah, yeah. Because I feel like I did something. I tried to use my time as
Mm-hmm.
much as I can,
So,
and
oh,
when I accomplish that, I get uh, yeah.
mm,
What did you say
the
exactly?
sense of accomplishment. That's what you just said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Exactly.
the same way that that sense of accomplishment when you perform a mental task helps, uh, it works significantly greater results when you do the physical activity associated with it. So the studying is, a conceptual activity. It just takes, your imagination and based on how the information affects in all the other stuff. So if you can look for, what if like every hour of studying you do like I don't know, 10 minutes of push-ups or even 5 push-ups,
Mm-hmm.
and that way your body is going to. So the reason I recommend the push-ups is because you don't actually have to care about the push-ups. The physical action of moving your body, that's what's going to cause your body to start producing chemicals because uh, as you know, when you do exercise and stuff, you go through either aerobic or anaerobic or anabolic, something like that. I don't know the scientific terms, but the way that oxygen navigates through your system is heavily affected and adjusted. That is what's going to cause your body to start producing different chemicals and neurotransmitters and hormones. So even if you don't want to, in fact, if you don't want to, I recommend doing it twice. Like I'll do with the recommendation
I'll try it.
because
I'll try it.
like when I started my push-ups, legit, I started with 10 a day, and
Mm-hmm.
that's only when I started doing them every day. Before that, I was doing like 5 a week. My homie Omar, I used to be like super super skinny, and he was like big and cocky and everything. I'm like, hey, how do you get like that? He's like, oh, I do push-ups. I said, well, I can't really do push-ups. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I try to do them, but I'm weak. Like I do 3, and then my arms hurt, and I fall to the ground. And he's like, well, do 3. I'm like, what? He's like, do three until you can do 4. Then if you can do 4, do 4 until you can do 5. And he was encouraging me to try my best. Like, don't worry about the fact that all these guys my age are sitting there doing 100 push-ups in one breath with their hand behind their back. I couldn't do that. I could do 3. 3 was my best. So I didn't have to be the best. I just had to be my best. And no matter what the situation, as long as I try my best, I don't really feel bad about it. When we play and I lose, but I try my best to win, even when people make it extremely difficult. But
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
win or lose, as long as I'm trying my best, that's why I'm able to be happy afterwards. Because I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I got last place, but last place is the best I can do for now. Hopefully, next time I can learn and improve and get a different place. But my goal is to win, but that's not my personal goal. My personal goal is never to win; it's to try my best to win.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm trying my best, I'm really satisfied. And once again, that takes honesty because I can always do 10 push-ups and say I try my best. But when I do 10 push-ups, I know when I can do more. When I try to do 100 push-ups and after 65, my arms start wobbling, my breathing gets erratic, and I can barely push myself. It's like, oh, reality has told me that this is my best. I didn't have to decide what my best is. I didn't have to do anything to figure it out. All I did was go until I couldn't go, and reality said stop. And then, oh, bro, that's sleep. Like, I have a sleep routine now, which is basically me working out and stretching and doing a little bit of yoga before bed. And
Mm-hmm.
that practice of doing that every day has made it so after I do my yoga and after I do my push-ups, when I lay in bed, I'm sleeping 5-10 minutes, maybe less than that. My body's so used to it now. It's just like, all right, it's time for bed. That day that
Yeah.
I came home like super drunk, I wanted to just hop in bed. I was like, I'm so drunk I can pass out. But I realized if I can't do it, I can't do it. So let me just try. And so, I tried to do my routine and I was able to do it. And I can't even tell you when I fell asleep. I don't even know if I fell asleep in the bed. I just remember, doing the push up. Oh, I did fall asleep in the bed. I did the push ups and I laid in bed. I gave Aaron 2 pats on the head and I was out. Woke up the
Wow.
next day at 5:30, and I was like, "How did I wake up at 5:30 when I went to sleep at 2?" Mm-hmm. And I want to be
Because you
clear.
have a
Uh,
habit
what you say?
to wake up. Because you have a habit of waking up that early. Like it happens to me, like when
That makes
I wake
sense.
up every day at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in the weekend, even if I can sleep a lot, I still wake up at 7.
You still?
That's
uh,
so frustrating.
yeah. And I want to be clear here. I do my workout every day, and I still admit it to you that I still wake up depressed. So the honesty in me tells me that the chemicals that I'm missing aren't related to my workout. They're related to other aspects of my life that I have to figure out an activity to do in order to produce chemicals for those activities.
Yeah, that's what I asked you because, for example, for someone, the goal maybe is to be the number one. Let's say the number one footballer in the world. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
once you got there, what else can you do? Now the workout made you happy until now. Now maybe you got too used to it, and now you need something new to do.
Yeah, like so the example that he gave is like if the number one footballer in the world, that was his goal, so now he does it. How does he accomplish more? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so the workout that you said that I got used to, I still need to do it to not be further
Yeah.
depressed.
Okay. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
addition, uh, one thing I noticed is I was leaving junk around the house. I was leaving a bunch of small messes. But in my brain, uh, I don't see a big mess. I see 8 small messes. And when I see 8 small messes, I'm like, shit, that's a lot of work I gotta do. Because if it's one big mess, I can knock that out. If it's 8 small messes, I have to clean 8 times. That's just how I kind of think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think back to the push ups. Like, okay, this is 8 small messes. I'll clean them one at a time. Or two at a time, depending on like how close the messes are. So the other day, I cleaned my kitchen and my living room. And that was good enough for me for that day because I also didn't want to be like overwhelmed because it's other stuff I have to fight through and I don't feel comfortable discussing that right now. I feel like to get off topic. The,
Yeah.
the the next day I did my bedroom and the bathroom, and then I started noticing that if I leave dishes in the sink overnight, I don't want to do them in the morning. So the reason I didn't wake up super depressed today is because last night I did the dishes before I went to sleep. So when I wake up, did
Mm-hmm.
all my shit. I came to and I was like, oh, there are no dishes to do. Sweet, and that sweet, gave you that. Oh, like
Yeah.
sweet. So for the footballer, if he accomplishes this goal, there his life isn't over yet. There's something that they can find in their life that they can continue to accomplish. It doesn't have to be a grandiose accomplishment. Like when you write that list, no one really sees that list but you. You're the only one that really knows if you completed that list or not. So
Yeah.
with the example you gave with the footballer, if this footballer is experiencing signs of depression after accomplishing these things, they really have to be honest about what they're doing in their life and how they're utilizing their time. There's
Mm.
I've never seen an example where there was nothing to do. I've
Yeah.
only seen examples where people didn't want to do the things that were there. They wanted something different. They wanted to feel happy rather than work to manage their depression. And you can feel happy while being depressed. The two aren't mutually exclusive. Happiness is just a result of certain chemical cocktails. If those aren't the ones that you're lacking, then you'll be happy in those moments that you have those chemical cocktails and depressed about the other stuff. That's the stuff that you're missing. So you have
Yeah.
to figure out what can you do. Even now, can you think of something that you could do? Keep in mind, they can't hear you. Only I can really hear you. So I won't repeat it
Yeah.
if you don't want me to. But can you think of something that you can do that physically motivates your body?
Are you talking about a physical activity or
Yes, in this case, I am talking about a physical activity.
physical activity? Does cooking count?
Yes, cooking counts.
Okay. Cooking.
Where you gonna cook? I'm
I
being
don't know. I'll
nosy.
figure it out. But it's
I'm just being nosy. I'm just being nosy. All right. Well, oh snap! It's almost been 30 minutes. I'm gonna. I guess I'm gonna stop the thing. Thank you, Sylvian. I appreciate it
no
because
problem.
I I, I was slacking last week. I didn't do Friday or Sunday, so this is like making up for Friday, and then I'll have to do another to make up for Sunday, and then I'll still have to do it this Friday as well. That way
Yeah.
I can keep my word to myself. So thank you for chatting with Abby today. Uh, I apologize that you guys can't hear Sylvian's wonderful voice. I hope the conversation was engaging. Remember, ABSIRD. Follow me on well, definitely subscribe to my YouTube. Like, comment, join the conversation. Feel free to ask me questions here. Hit up my Facebook, Instagram, whatever medium you want to use. Join in the conversation. I want this to be a chat. Don't forget the Cash App, ABSIRD. All right. This is Absurd hanging out with. Can't even see my hand. Hanging out with Silvian. Oh, yo, bro. Did you want me to tag you or like
No, no.
mention anything? No.
If they're going, if they're really that curious, they'll find me.
It's like 5 people are gonna see this. You don't want like 5 new followers.
No, no, no.
All right. Thank you, Sylvian, for joining me. Erin is still here. She's just taking a nap. Abby out.
I'll be out.